Good evening, good evening, good evening. So, what's on the news for tonight? You dare ask. You dare ask what's on the news tonight. Well, they got Steve King. They got our guy. Another one of our guys. Pro-Trump guy. Pro-wall guy. Pro-immigration law guy. They got him. They stripped him of everything. Stripped him of all his power. He's got nothing left. He's another guy standing around with his hands in his pockets. That's what they're doing. Systematically cleaning him out. It was all about Trump. It had nothing to do with Steve King. It had nothing to do with the congressman. It happened to do, it was because he was pro-wall. When are these Republicans going to learn not to talk to CNN, New York Times, Washington Post? Just stop talking to them. They're going to bait you. They're going to set you up. And they're going to cause you to lose your seats. It's amazing to watch the GOP turn their backs on their own, too. Turn their back quick as shit. They didn't even blink. They didn't even get all the evidence of what was talked about. They took a soundbite. They didn't release anything else. And they just threw Steve King under the bus. Just tossed him under the bus. Worst Republican Party I've ever seen. Jesus, they've got no nuts. They won't learn. That's it. It's going to take a new breed of Republicans. It really is. It's going to take a whole new breed of Republicans. The ones that are there can't do it. They cannot do it. The ones, they just don't have it. They don't have the will to fight. They don't. We've got to replace these guys. All these Republicans in Congress, most of them got to go. 90% of them have to be replaced with stronger, more efficient Republicans. They're not any good. They're not any good. They're going to cave every time. And a lot of people are like, Mitch McConnell's not. Mitch McConnell can't do anything. He's over in the Senate. It was up to the Congress Republicans, are the one who stripped him. End of story. Good night, sweet prince. See you on the flip side. You're out. But, stop talking to them. I'm telling you, man, you cannot talk to the leftist press. It's a bad idea. They will set you up every time. Oh, yeah. That's a given. The ones that are there now they would vote for impeachment. They would. There ain't no doubt in my mind, man. I've said this a long time ago. If they'll take out one of their own for one comment, what do you think they're going to do to Trump? What do you think they're going to do to Trump in the end? They're not our guys. I've been telling people this all along. Everybody's like, oh, they'll get in line. But no, they won't. They don't care. They don't care because they'll end up with President Pence. They don't care. They just don't care. And we're watching our own party. We're watching people already jump ship. We're already watching people like, Mike Cernovich, Jack Posobiec, Cassandra Fairbanks. All of these guys are already getting ready to jump ship over the Tulsi bandwagon. We're watching it. It's happening in real time. It's happening in real time. The true MAGA will be the only one standing in the end of this. It'll be only true MAGA by the end of what's going to happen. You can see everything's building up. Trump's not caving in on the wall. The Republicans are starting to get edgy. The problem with Republicans, they don't know how to withstand. They don't know how to withstand. They have trouble with that in office. They can't take it. They can't take the heat. They're not willing to sacrifice. Steve King was one of those guys that would sacrifice. Steve King was one of the ones that, I keep hearing this, Democrats don't want Tulsi. It's all a show. They want her. This is all a show, man. People aren't understanding what's about to happen. People don't get what's going on with Tulsi. They don't. You keep saying that the Democrats don't want. That's exactly what they want you to say. That's exactly, because nobody's looking at her. Nobody's looking at her. When she gains her popularity, no one's going to see what's coming with Tulsi Gabbard. No one's going to see it. Everybody's going to be like, oh, we thought she wasn't liked. And then all of a sudden, boom, there's your star. Tulsi Gabbard's the one. Don't be blinded. She's the one they want. It ain't about Joe Biden or any of them. They're only going to do it just to get her in. That's all they care about. They know they're unlikable. Joe Biden can't win. Joe Biden can't win. This is all about raising money. The Democrats are broke. They need every man on deck. They need every man on deck. They're going to say bad stuff. That's what they're doing. They want that. They want some negativity with her. That's the plan. They need somebody that's got some negativity because it's going to work. In the age of Trump, it's going to work. That's what they want. They want somebody that's outspoken, has a few harsh lines. It's all about that. And I haven't seen her ever say an anti-gay word. But yeah, some will say it. But then she's going to be able to defend herself, right? She's going to come out swinging. She's going to be like, I never said any of that. Show one soundbite where I made fun of gays or I said something bad about gays. This is the whole plot and plan. They've got this all set up. I'm telling you, man. This is all set up. Her machine has started to run. Nobody sees what's coming. Nobody. Creepy Uncle Joe, he won't make it past the first round. He'll bring in some money, though. See, that's the point. They need their money, guys. It's all about bringing in the money. DNC's hurting for cash. So it's all people are on deck. Obama, Clinton, Biden, all of them. They got to raise that cash. It's all about bringing in the cash. Without it, they won't win in 2020. So right now, they're getting ready to do the old march across the globe for cash. That's why they were all in Puerto Rico. That's why they were all in Puerto Rico partying. They're making plans. They're making plans, man. They're fine tuning the machine. Trump knew what they were up to. Trump ain't stupid. We're talking about Tulsi Gabbard and the whole what they're about to do with Tulsi, and we were talking about Steve King, who was stupid and talked to the New York Times like a fool. There's going to be a lot of fake MAGA jumping on Tulsi. We see it going on. You know, several people are already noticing it. I mean, I noticed this a long time ago. I knew this was going to happen. What we see earlier, we saw the cat fight between Montel Williams and Jack Posobiec. That was pretty funny. That went on for a little bit, and now people are trying to set up a celebrity boxing match. So that ought to be funny. What else went on today? Not a lot. I mean, there's not a lot going on. Mueller wants to question Trump again, and Trump told him to fuck off. Good idea. And then Barr's getting ready to take over. I expect Barr to probably start his hearings anytime, probably in the next couple of weeks. As soon as government reopens, you're going to see Barr's going to be sped right through there. Barr's ready to go to work. Barr's pretty much already the Attorney General. I don't know if people have noticed. He's already calling the shots at the Department of Justice. Everything he's saying is happening there. So we're seeing Barr slowly take it over. Now, this is what Barr wants to do. I read a few articles today. Barr wants he wants Mueller to finish his investigation so the crybaby Democrats can just stop crying about it. But after the investigation, he wants it to be released to the public. He wants the public to see that there was no collusion, because he wants to be transparent and fair to the president and say, look, here's everything. Here's all the results. This is what it is. This is what went on, and nothing happened when it is the president is concerned. And the American people deserve to see it. That way we have a fair election, and that's exactly what he's going to do. The Democrats are going to cry about it. The Democrats are going to, of course, they're going to cry about it because they're not going to be able to use it in the election when he's fully cleared and exonerated with the Russian collusion. So Barr's actually being really smart about this. He's given Mueller a leash and saying, finish your shit. That way I can release it. And Mueller already knows he's got nothing. That's why he wants to question Trump again. Right? Mueller's at the end. He don't have nothing. That's why Trump told him to fuck off. You know, what he's trying to do is get Trump for lying or obstruction. Something stupid, right? He's trying to set him up with some tricky gotcha questions like these old lawmen like to do. You know, these dinosaurs. They like to try to catch people up in a little something and then go, oh, we gotcha. But Trump ain't stupid, man, and his lawyers aren't stupid. They're like, Trump ain't talking to you. Them days are over. Finish your shit. Get the fuck out of here. So Trump is handling it smart. You know, the Democrats are crying about that, but that's exactly how Trump should be handling it. He shouldn't answer another question from that dude ever again in his life. I'd be like, fuck you. Call my lawyer. You know, Trump's taking back his New York attitude. He was very honest, unlike the other Europeans. The truth will come out. Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea. But yeah, he is looking at Devin Nunes now. Yeah, that, you know, Devin Nunes, you know, it's an attack on the Republican Party. It really is. It's an attack on the Republican Party. It's no longer about Trump. It's a total, you know, attack. You know, that's why they're going after King. You know, they're trying to go after all these other Republicans. You know, I just saw dipshit Thunder. Scott Dworkin, the Democratic money launderer, and he wants to do an investigation into Mitch McConnell now. So he's trying to crowdfund online, and he's getting money to do a private investigation into Mitch McConnell. What they want to do is take out the most prominent Republicans. So that's the plan. They want all of Trump's biggest allies gone. And so what they're doing is they've focused away from Trump, and now they're starting to focus on other Republicans. Of course he isn't a racist. Steve King isn't a racist. You know, they took his comments out of context, and that was it. You know, is what it is. You know, he spoke to them. That was stupid. You know, you can't talk to the leftist media. You can't. As a Republican, the minute you start talking to the leftist media, they will distort your words, and they will say lies about you, and they'll take everything out of context. So they'll ask you a gotcha question like, you know, do you believe in nationalism for your country? Yeah, well, I do believe a little bit in the national, you know, and then all of a sudden you're some kind of white supremacist and this and that, and they stretched your words apart and lied on you, and then you're screwed, man. And the Republicans are stupid. They keep talking to these leftist media. You know, the first thing a Republican, when he takes office, he should ban CNN from talking to him. He should ban the Washington Post from talking to him. He should ban the New York Times from talking to him. He should definitely ban the MSNBC from talking to him. All of these leftist outlets, Huffington Post, all of them. That would be my first order of business if I ever took office somewhere and I was representing a district, you know, in Congress or a senator. I would tell all those outlets immediately, you can't talk to me. And when they say, oh, that's racist, I'd say, no, it's safety. Fuck off. You know, and that would be my only remarks to all of these outlets. Every time that a politician on the Republican side speaks to these guys, they fuck them over. You know, they do. They shoot themselves in the foot every time. Every time. And you watch, and I don't feel bad for Steve King. I don't. He did it to himself. He's an idiot. Why would he talk to them? They should know better by now. Like, that should be a rule of thumb. That should be a rule of thumb. You know, don't talk to the leftist media. Why would you do that? You can't do that. It's absolutely amazing that they keep doing it. You know, people always say that I'm outspoken, or, you know, I was watching Scope earlier with James, and, you know, how I'm not MAGA. Dude, I've never abandoned Trump once in my life. Just because I don't believe in other things doesn't mean I'm not MAGA. It just means I believe in other things. I think different. I'm a logical thinker. I'm an independent thinker. I don't hang out in crowds. I don't run with packs. I don't, you know, I just don't join in those things. It doesn't mean I'm less MAGA than anybody. I just MAGA another way. and I believe in my president the way I want to believe. I don't need, hundreds of people to tell me what I need to do or think. And that's what separates me from a lot of people. And a lot of people hate that. And a lot of people are always like, oh, well, he thinks his shit don't stink. Or, he thinks he's better than everybody else. Or I'm MAGA, man. That's what we're supposed to think. We're alpha. What the fuck are you talking about? This is the essence of being MAGA, is being a strong white male with an outspoken essence to who you are. And when I see people get mad because, I'm the way I am, I'm sorry. That's just the way I am. That's the way I'm built. I don't take nobody's shit. And I definitely don't join in any stupid shit that I don't like. It's just me. And I'll continue to be that way. That's MAGA to me. I mean, everybody looks at MAGA different, though, I guess. But that's the way I look at it. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate Praying Medic. I don't. Well, let's get this straight. I don't hate Dave. Do I find some of the things that, that gets put out by some of that stuff? Yeah, I think it's stupid. That's my personal opinion. And that's my right to feel that way. But I don't hate him. And I know he loves the president. I'm not stupid to that. I just don't want... I don't know. I'm my own person, and if I don't believe in something, I can't fully support something. And I think that's my take on the Praying Medic situation. It's not that I hate him. I don't hate him. I just find the shit stupid. But that's my personal opinion, right? I'm allowed that. That doesn't make me less MAGA because I don't believe in something. It's just my own personal choice because I choose to do my own work. When it comes to, like research or whatever it is I'm doing, I like to do it myself. I don't need a group of people to tell me what to do. I was doing research before it was even cool to do it. I was analyzing data before it was cool to do it. I was doing all these things long before that, long before any of these guys ever came onto the scene. They're all babies in a pond compared to me. I'm a shark in a sea when it comes to data. Someone sent me one of my tweets from almost 2 years ago today. And it was the most funniest thing because they were like, oh my God, look, this is just coming out in the news cycle today. And you tweeted this out 2 years ago. And that's why I get bored with it, right? A lot of times I'm bored. I've already done the work. I've already been there, done that, showed it, tweeted it out. It's not my fault. People weren't paying attention how important the information was at the time I tweeted it out. And this person's like, look, they're stealing your shit again. And it's not that they were stealing my shit. It's they're fucking slow. And that's not my fault. It's not my fault that people cannot keep up with my timeline when I'm doing that kind of research. It's not my fault. I'm just quick. I'm really fast. And I've always been that way when it comes to data trails and things like that. So what happens is when all of the shit was going on with Trump, with this Trump Tower meeting, I immediately went to work. I wasn't online talking. I wasn't, hanging out. I was doing the work. And when I started this whole, research project into the Trump Tower meeting, I was ahead of everybody. Well, in the last couple days, a Renat article has come out where Manafort was actually, reporting back to Renat some of the polling data. That Manafort took that up upon himself, by the way. Trump had nothing to do with that. But Renat was causing trouble. Renat's a Russian operative. Of course, he was doing what he was supposed to. That was his fucking job. But Natalia is the one who invited him there. Natalia is a Russian operative. Why do you think she's back in Russia? You'll never see this Natalia chick again in your life. She's gone. She's long gone. They'll never see her again. But she was put there. She was put there. And I've done so much research into this. And we'll go all the way back to 2017 because that's when this came out. I did this tweet. Look at the date on this tweet. This is way back, man. That's why I'm saying this shit, man. I've been doing this longer than anybody, and it's like, wow, okay, who cares, man? I've been doing this so long. But anyway, so if we go back into time, early 2017 when I started looking into all this. There's a girl. She owns an interpretation service. Lo and behold, she worked for John Kerry, the lady who owned the interpretation service. So Natalia calls an interpretation service. The lady she called, who actually owns the interpretation service, actually worked for the State Department. It's never been brought up. I don't know why. It's none of my fucking business, but she worked for the State Department. So she sends this guy over, who also had connections to the State Department. But he really had nothing to do with it. It was more the interpretation service owner, right? Because she had clear connections. I mean, deep connections to the State Department. So she sends over her interpreter. So then there's the interpreter there. You got Renat there. You got Natalia there. You got the interpreter there. It all goes all the way back to the State Department. This was a CIA-run operation by Brennan, too. Brennan had full knowledge of what was going down. He was, there was nothing that Brennan controlled the CIA. He knew everything that was going on. He knew who the people were going into that Trump Tower. They were taking pictures. They knew everything. And that's why Admiral Rogers visited, by the way. That's why he went there. He knew that Trump was being surveilled. It doesn't make him a patriot. He was just like, wow, man, we got a lot of surveillance going on at Trump Tower. What is going on? Rogers, I think, had a responsibility because they were dragging the NSA into it. So the NSA is now dragged into it. Nobody wanted to get caught up in this shit. There was a lot of shit going on, man. And that's why you saw a lot of retirees go on. That's why Harry Reid retired. Harry Reid was one of the catalysts for it. Harry Reid is the actual guy who carried the football. And by the football, I mean the dossier. They had already known about the dossier. Don't let Obama and Brennan and all these guys fool you. They already knew about it. They knew this dossier was coming into play all along. They just couldn't bring it in from their end. So what did they do? They had to get a surrogate. They went and got their surrogate, Harry Reid. And then Harry Reid back-channeled it back to the Department of Justice. But they already knew where it was going, or already knew about it. All of these guys knew exactly what was going on. They just couldn't officially, okay, we'll just do it right from here. They couldn't have a right from here moment. They had to actually go outside the box and bring it back through in order to start the whole thing off. That way Obama's legacy wouldn't be touched. It all goes back to that. I don't know why people can't put that together. That's why Harry Reid cut and run. Harry Reid wasn't leaving because, he got cancer and I have to retire. He retired because he didn't want to get questioned. Bill Browder has nothing to do with this. Bill Browder's not even a player. Bill Browder, this was a Brennan operation. Bill Browder's unimportant. Bill Browder's a smaller figure than people think. It's because Lee Stranahan has a hard-on for Bill Browder because Russia doesn't like Bill Browder. Lee Stranahan works for a Russian agency. Whether people like to hear it or not, Lee Stranahan works for a Russian agency. He gets paid in Russian money. Of course, he's got to do things that Russia wants him to do. Lee Stranahan works for a Russian front. It's hard for people to understand that, and they don't like hearing it, but that's the truth. He works for a Russian operation. That's the Sputnik is owned by Russia. It's a front. It's a front. Oh, and the other big news today. Oh, my gosh. Oh, it's been so busy today. It's actually been a really busy day. There was an article dropped by the Daily UK that's very important, and nobody is talking about it. I'm going to talk about it because it's very important. It's actually a huge scoop when it comes to news, and I cannot believe people are not talking about this. I've got to pull this up because you guys have got to hear about this. This is very important to go back into the 2016 election. This bit of information is going to blow your minds. I couldn't believe when I saw it today. There was an article, I tweeted it out, and it's from the Daily Mail UK. But let me put this up on screen, and I'm going to explain exactly what they said. So much stuff went on today. Now that I really think about it, today was a big news cycle day. I don't know if people realize it, but what we learned today with Julian Assange is huge. Probably one of the biggest days to learn stuff about WikiLeaks and what was going on in 2016. Although what they did was pretty funny, but you've got to realize what they were doing. The Daily Mail released an article today that the NSA and the CIA have hacked WikiLeaks. I'm going to say that again. The CIA and the NSA have hacked WikiLeaks. They've had them hacked for a long time. They started hacking them in 2017 after Trump took office. Yeah, you can't fucking stump the Trump. So anyway, Trump starts hacking, the Trump admin starts hacking in 2017 after he takes office. Well, they have piles and piles of hacked data from WikiLeaks. So the whole time that WikiLeaks was running their mouths online, the NSA and CIA were tunneling their way into Julian Assange's network, which we're the best in the business, guys. And I'll tell you why we weren't the best in the business for a while. But it includes messages exchanged with the Russian government hackers, because that's what they were, about the Democratic National Committee and emails. So Assange was emailing government officials in Russia who are hackers about the emails. So Assange had to have known who he was talking to. They were emailing, they were conversing. I haven't seen the emails because they're under sealed indictment right now, and they're part of that sealed indictment. But he was definitely knew he was talking to Russian operatives. He knew he was talking to Russian operatives. So that kind of changes the whole thing. And the prosecutors, it's an unrelated case. This is different. So, and the federal government hasn't confirmed whether they've charged Julian Assange with anything or not, but they definitely have the goods. And in the article, it says they've seized, thousands of documents, thousands of leaks. Assange has all kinds of shit, by the way, and they know about it. So not only have they stolen our shit back, they've stolen other government shit, because WikiLeaks gets everybody, right? So basically what I think the Trump CIA and NSA decided was, man, they're sitting on a treasure trove of information. Let's just go fucking take it. And that's exactly what went on. So Assange basically got hacked. And shit's about to hit the fan for him. But it's crazy, because when you really think about it. And why were we so weak in 2016? Well, that has to do with Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden gave China the keys to the kingdom in the United States. Edward Snowden left with millions of documents. Millions. And he left with the code. He left with every asset's name. I mean, he compromised everything. And when Obama was in office, there wasn't much they could do. Everything had been compromised. How do you fight back? You can't. So the American Intelligence Agency was fucked. They couldn't do anything. They had to rebuild it from scratch. That's why Rogers took it over in the first place. Because it got fucking whacked. It got whacked worse than... It's probably the worst thing to ever happen to the U.S. government. They're never going to tell you. They're never going to tell you exactly the damage that guy did. But it's huge. It's probably the biggest breach in U.S. history of our defenses, especially cyber defenses. So going back, they had to spend years rebuilding from scratch, from nothing. And now they're at the point where they have a machine again. So all the software you think they had in 2012, they don't have it anymore. It's totally different. It's rebuilt from the ground up. It's tore up from the floor up. They ain't getting in again. Well, he did his job. He's a military man. You can't, I mean, people got to realize, man, this ain't cloak and dagger shit. This whole white hat, black hat shit, it does not exist. It doesn't exist. It's soldiers doing their job. That's all. It's always been soldiers doing their job. Snowden is a fucking traitor of the highest order. You know, he's a turncoat. He put a lot of soldiers and a lot of people at risk, man. But there's no such thing as black hats and white hats. That comes from all that mumbo jumbo, man. It's all that mumbo jumbo people talk. That's why our government, you know, and people don't understand how this shit works. You know, people don't understand. You know, and that's why the military took over the NSA. By the way, the NSA used to be private. Now the NSA is military. They had to turn it over to the military to keep everything running smooth. You know, I mean, when it wasn't military, look at it. Snowden walked away with everything. You know, people got to understand, man. The government, man, under Trump is a whole different machine. People aren't doing the shit they used to do now. You know, people aren't leaking. People aren't running with our secrets. You know, there's catches in the system now. People, every time one of these workers logged in, now they automatically start getting tracked. Whatever classified material you look at, whatever classified documents you're accessing, you're getting your picture taken while you're doing it. You're no longer getting away with it. You're not sticking a key fob in a computer and stealing data. Those days are gone. With the era of cloud technology, you don't need USB ports anymore. You can go totally wireless in a facility and not allow any external drives to be plugged in. It's a whole different game. People are, you know, we're advancing to a point where, you know, when it comes to internal theft of data, it's not going to happen. You saw what happened with Reality Winter. I mean, look at her. They had her in 5 minutes, and she got caught from a fucking printer because they made the printer print something on the paper that would get her caught. You know, so they had that sting already set up. They've been setting up these stings for a while. You know, they have little catch things where they can catch these people. And the only way they're doing it's through printing the actual classified files. And all they have to do is mark it like people are, you know, when people counterfeit money. Or when they put dye bags in counterfeit money. And it pops off. You know, so these people aren't getting away with it anymore. They're just not getting away with it, you know. So that era of that, you're seeing the DOJ's about to start doing the same thing. DOJ took down some of their shit because people were running amok with conspiracy theories about some of the shit. And so the DOJ had to rip the shit down. You know, they got to start protecting our data. You know, it's not good. It's an unhealthy thing for people to obsess about what our Department of Justice is doing, and Barr knows it. You know, that's why Barr's going in. Barr wants a finely run Department of Justice. He doesn't want people worrying about what's going on in there. He wants the American people to know he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know, that's why Trump picked this guy. He's a no-nonsense guy. He's not going to go in there and fuck around. You know, he's the only... a lot of people don't know this. I've studied up on Barr. He is the only attorney general in the past, I don't know how many attorney generals, to not have a scandal. He's never had a scandal. You know what his major scandal is? This is the only thing people could find on him. His wife went to fucking study. His wife went to study after her Bible with Mueller's wife. That's his biggest scandal. If that is an attorney general's biggest scandal, I'll take him. I will take him in a minute. You know, and his wife attended Mueller's daughter's wedding. It's Washington, D.C., folks. Mueller was the head of the FBI. Do you know how many people attends weddings in Washington, D.C. when somebody's that high in government? The head of the FBI is like, what, fourth down from the president when you really think about it? Because what do you have? You have Senate Majority Leader. You have President, Vice President. And then you have Speaker. Then you have the Attorney General. Then you have the head of the FBI. Why wouldn't people be attending those weddings? I mean, come on. You know, that's why when I see people make big deals out of stuff like that, I go, man, do they even know how Washington, D.C. works? I just laugh at the articles because people don't understand. how incestuous Washington, D.C. is. Everybody knows everybody. You know, these people all attend functions together. You know, there was a function, I can't remember where it was. I think it was in Martha's Vineyard. And there were shitloads of Democrats and Republicans at this reception. But this is what happens in Washington, D.C. You know, this is what, yeah, Trump attended Clinton parties. Michael Cohen attended Clinton parties. You know, I don't think a lot of people don't understand the complexity of Washington, D.C. Even Jack Posobiec and all these guys that think they know everything, they don't. They're not in the crowd. You know, they go to these fundraising events and stuff like that. But they're not in the inner circle. They're not in those circles of people. They don't hold that kind of power. Nobody does. You have to actually have some power to be in them circles. You know, not anybody just gets to go hang out. That's not how it works. Washington, D.C. is for the privileged, whether people like it or not. That's how it works. That's how it operates. That's how it runs. You know, and I think people need to calm down when they hear stories. I mean, Rosenstein and Kavanaugh used to work on the same cases together. That doesn't make them crooks. That just made them that they were in the same working environment. Same with, you know, Comey and Horowitz used to work cases together too. I've never seen anybody print a story about that. Where's the story about Comey and Horowitz on the same legal teams? A lot of people, you don't know that, right? A lot of people going, what? Hey now, what? I didn't know that. Horowitz also donated to Cuomo's campaign when he was running for Attorney General of New York. What? I didn't know that. Yeah, man, there's a lot of shit people don't know about Washington, D.C. They'll be surprised. They'll be like, what? Yeah, so that's why with all this, like, you know, mythical cloak and dagger shit, I go, man, if people only knew half the truth about what goes on in Washington, D.C. and how everybody knows everybody. A lot of it's theatrics, too. A lot of this hatred they show each other, it's theatrics. They want to get the public riled up. They want to scare you. They want to put you into fear. Rod is going to walk away clean from all this. I don't know how Rod does it. I call Rod the Hammer. Rod the Hammer Rosenstein. He's a fucking Teflon Don, that guy. He's probably going to walk away the cleanest of everybody. I don't know how he's done it, but man, that guy's got like 40 angels sitting on his shoulder. He just keeps getting away, man. And every time I hear a pundit go, it's happening this time. And then Rod's like, I ain't quitting. Fuck you. He's still in there. You know, if Barr walks in and makes him assistant attorney general, I'm probably going to fall out of my chair laughing, honestly. That will probably do it for me. I'll be like, this guy he'll be president next from what I fucking know. How do I know? But yeah, that dude's outlasted everybody. How did that happen? Rod Rosenstein. King of the Hill, man. Nobody can take him down. I swear to God. Every time, man. Every time I hear a pundit, Rod Rosenstein's through tomorrow. And then Rod Rosenstein 4 hours later is, fuck you, I'm not going anywhere. I'll take back my resignation. I'm needed here. And I laugh. Like, he did it again. And all the pundits and the reporters are all circling the drain. And Rod Rosenstein just flushes it. Oh, sorry, guys. You know, that guy's had his name in the news more for nothing than anything. You know that? He's only had one bad article. That was the wiretap in itself. Other than that, it's all been nothing. Like, and it's been a lot of nothing. Like, just fake news all the way around with him. You know, he's quitting. He's getting fired. He's quitting. He's getting fired. He's quitting again. He's getting fired. And now the newest thing is, when Barr takes over, Rosenstein is done. I'm waiting, man. I'm waiting. I'll believe it when I see it, you know. For all I know, Barr's going to get in there and fucking like him. Well, you're a smart guy. I really like you. I'm going to talk to President Trump. I think I'm going to keep you around. All of a sudden, Rosenstein, after Barr takes over, Rosenstein promoted to Barr's right-hand man. He will not be overseeing the Mueller investigation. He's now taken over the Pence investigation. I don't know. I tell you, Rod, man, there's nothing that touches that guy. I mean it, man. He just keeps getting away with it. It's crazy shit, man. You can't be, man, the Rod outlasted Sessions. Imagine that. Sessions get fired. Remember when Sessions said, if you fire Rod Rosenstein, I will quit. And then Sessions, I got fired. And then Rod Rosenstein, I'd love to quit, Jeff, but we're not that close. He didn't even return the favor, man. Sessions is all like, if you get fired, I'll quit for you, man. That's how much I believe in you. And then Rod's like, wish I could fucking quit for you, but you were really fucking sucked at it. Huh? Remember when Sessions said he would quit if Rod Rosenstein got fired?
No, I thought it was Rod that said he would quit if Sessions was...
No, it was Sessions who said he would quit if Rod was...
I think they both did that one.
But then Rod was like, Jeff, we're not that close. He walked back into the Department of Justice.
I thought they both were gonna...
We're just not that close, bro. We're just not that close. Sorry, bro. We're not that close. I wish we were. and then Whitaker likes Rosenstein. A lot of people don't know that. Whitaker's a big fan of Rosenstein. Look it up. I just don't get it. Makes us hello. She just came in the room for a few. But yeah, man. So Whitaker's a big fan of Rosenstein. Everybody that comes, he must be a likable guy. Like, I would like to meet him. I bet you he's really likable. There's got to be something about Rod Rosenstein that people like. Because that dude, everybody come in contact with him is like, he's a good guy. Everybody. What is it? Oh, Rod rickrolled Jeff hard, man. But we're still trusting the plan, right? That's all we know. That's all we know. We're still here. So what'd you think of the Big Mac party? What did you think of the Big Mac party? Was awesome, man. The Big Mac party, that shit was awesome. I was like, yeah, Trump's a good guy, man. Trump does a lot of shit for a lot of people. With my Big Mac party, how can you not like his Big Mac party? And any Democrat saying something bad about him buying that whole team, the Big Macs like that? Think about that. He bought everybody a freaking Big Mac. How can you not like a president that will go out of his way to make sure these young guys all have Big Macs and fish fillets and cookies and cakes? And man, how can you not? And he spent his own money. It wasn't like he was spending other people. He spent his own money. That dude be spending his own shit. He spent his own money on this shit. How can you not like a president that does that? And then the funniest thing about the whole thing was this, that the neocons that were in the room, the guys that weren't on the team, because you know there were some politicians there, because I could see them in the background and see them, they wouldn't touch the food. They were throwing their nose up to it. You know, they were being bitches about it because Trump, you know, bought these football players, you know, they're fast food. It's what they like. They're young guys. And the neocons are all walking around the room like, oh, fucking, I gotta eat that. Yeah, you do, fucking asshole. Grab a Big Mac. Eat like the rest of America. You know, that's what I like about Trump. He's a real guy. And then you had Ocasio today. This is how brainless this lady is. She's so numb. She was talking about how she used to be a bartender and how Trump is the kind of guy that she was. That's all of New York. I've been through New York more times than I can count, and all of the men act like that. She is such a fucking thought. She don't know shit. She's so dumb, man. And then Trump's like, who cares? That's Trump's only response to this stupid bitch was, who cares? I loved it. I was like, damn. So Trump responds to her with just, who cares? And then she gets all fucking mad about it. She's like, how dare you? How dare you not go on one of your rants about me and just say, who cares? That's how you deal with her, though. I said that. I said, you know, you can't deal with her. You just got to put her in a fucking a kind of bitch you drop off at McDonald's, man. She a loudmouth. That's the kind of girl you don't want to date either, man. I ain't kidding. Ocasio is a woman you do not bring home to mama. You just don't date. She bad news, man. She gonna be divorced more times than I can count, man. That's a chick that ain't the marrying type. So if you find yourself on a date with a girl like Ocasio, your first order of business is you want to go buy McDonald's. You want to go buy McDonald's and have enough money in your pocket for 2 chocolate shakes. And I want you to send her in for that chocolate shakes. And as soon as she enters that McDonald's, you fucking drive as fast as you can out of there and don't look back. You change your cell phone number while you're driving. You call your carrier. And then you never look back. And you make sure you're moving on that weekend. You get it all set up. Leave no forwarding number, no forwarding address. Just never look back. The only memory she'll have is a chocolate shake. And at least you left her with something. All I'm saying. That's how you handle an Ocasio. You take her out for a chocolate shake, you drop her off. You drop her off. You never look back. And you give her independence. Because they all need to be independent. In the era of Me Too movement, you got to make them self-sufficient. Get a Google number like Mike. I have Google numbers. I use a Google number all the time. Yeah, Ocasio. She's something else, man. Oh, man. She a nitwit. She a nitwit. I was talking today. I said, yeah. Bill Clinton probably likes her. I already see Bill Clinton. He probably, Jesus Christ. She was probably up in Puerto Rico this weekend, too. I can just imagine. Bill Clinton. She kind of reminds me of Huma. She got that Huma look, right? Bill Clinton's probably like salivating over that. Jesus, Hillary, she look just like Huma. Why don't we go ahead and get her up here into Puerto Rico? We'll buy her a ticket. Better yet, let me call Jeffrey. I'll have him send his jet. We'll pick her up. I got a fresh pack of cigars. I can already imagine. Yeah. I like that Ocasio. She's a little fiery thing. Yeah, I wish I had her for an intern. It would have been great. That's my Bill Clinton. That's my Bill Clinton voice. Fellow Americans, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. It never happened in one time of my presidency. And I'm telling you, Alexander, I do a great bill. I like my cigars. Yeah, I would give Ocasio a couple. I'll tell you what. Yep, one in the butt. Can I see Bill? One in the butt. That's Bill's kind of woman right there. It's that dress you're wearing. I see you have a dress like Monica. It looks good on you. They'll need a black light if they're ever locked in a room together. Alexandria, could you come over here for a minute? We need to take this black light over your dress. Oh my God. Bill Clinton. Jesus Christ. Oh, she was Bernie's intern. Yeah. Am I not surprised? Little Venezuela. Everything's free. Everything's free in Alexandria's America. Yeah. What else is going on? Not a lot. We see the soft right. They're still going at it. Any more pro-Tulsi tweets tonight? They love Tulsi, man. I ain't never seen nothing like it. They love Tulsi. Let's go check to see. Let's see exclusive. Days after FBI Director Comey was fired, Acting Director Andrew McCabe's FBI sought to re-engage with Christopher Steele. Christopher Steele was a paid FBI informant. What are you talking about, re-engage? He was already part of the club. Author of Steele off the air, the attempts were thwarted by the appointment of special counsel Robert Mueller. Oh, so they wanted to bring Christopher Steele back in. They wanted to bring him back in. Conservative writer Jerome Corsi says Mueller has summoned his stepson to testify before the grand jury. Oh no, what happened? Oh no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here's a new the plot thickens for Jerome Corsi, everybody. Oh no. Apparently, he texted his son and told him to scrub the computer. You can't make this shit up. I don't know what is going on with all these guys. I have never seen people inject themselves into an investigation the way Corsi has. I just have never seen anything like it. I got blocked by Ali for calling them out. Ali thinks I have a low IQ. Ali's a moron. Yeah, but Corsi's son apparently is being dragged in by Robert Mueller now. He texted his son and said he had to scrub their computers. Oh my Lord. You know, I think sometimes I'm starting to think with this Corsi thing that it's on purpose to write a book. Although there's nothing there, I think they're making something there. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you guys get why I say that? He's not Mossad. He's just an old guy that wants to make money. But anyway, do you ever think that they're making things seem like they're there, but they're not there because he wants to write a book, and it's all about making money and making Mueller look like a fool? That's what I think is going on with Corsi. I think Corsi definitely knows he had no involvement in anything, but he knows that he can trigger them, right? He's good at it. So this old guy is triggering Robert Mueller with a bunch of false shit. It's the funny shit. He already wrote one for the investigation. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he has, man. He probably wrote it before it even happened. You know, these guys are, man, I wish people would understand how all these guys operate. You know, Posobiec, Cernovich, all of these guys. They're very good at what they do. They're very good. It's almost like they want to inject themselves. You know, serial killers and fire starters will inject themselves into investigations a lot of times, even if they don't have nothing to do with it. I don't know how many times weirdos have confessed to murders they didn't commit. It happens all the time, believe it or not. Study the demographics of it. Murderers, people who are murdered, people who didn't do it will sometimes go and confess because they're just crazy in the head. They're crazy in the head, so they do it for attention. So they'll go to the police station and be like, I killed this person. And the cop will be like, no, man, you were sitting at home with your mom watching The Price is Right, and she has you on video camera. But these people will try to confess to murders anyway they didn't commit, you know. And it goes on a lot. And I think, you know, what are you good at? I'm good at all kinds of stuff. What are you good at? What are you good at? I see you don't have a picture. That's why I'm asking. Let's beat the hell out of our phones and servers. I don't beat my computers up or my phones. I like my technology. I don't scrub my shit either. I got too much shit to lose. I don't do that either. My life's an open book. A cop could come in right now and be like, hey, make a copy of it, but you can't have it. You better bring your shit in to copy it. I ain't fucking scared of the government. I don't do nothing wrong. Life's an open book, bro. Ain't nothing they can get me for. I'm a good citizen. That's all you gotta. You know, if you're a good citizen, you don't have to worry about anything, really. And always tell a cop, no, you can't unless I have a lawyer present. That's your second thing. Your first thing is, I'm a good citizen. Your second thing is, call my lawyer. You never answer. That's another thing I don't get with all these pundits that have fallen to Mueller. How in the hell did they answer questions? Like, what were they thinking? Like, what was their first thought? I'm going to talk to this guy. If I was ever rounded up by Mueller because I was involved in any of the election stuff, which I was in 2016, I was doing all kinds of shit, causing all kinds of problems. You know, if Mueller took me in, I would be like, I'd be a dickhead. I'd be like, yeah, fuck you, lawyer. That'd be the first thing out of my mouth. Even though I know I didn't do anything, it would be like, fuck you, call my lawyer. You know, I would automatically clamp up. And then I would start, you know, just, you know, telling the press to fuck off too. I'd turn it into a fucking circus. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to air all my dirty laundry on CNN. And then I'd get on there and call Robert Mueller a piece of shit. You know, that would, I would use everything. I would be diabolical with that shit. I wouldn't be nice at all. Like, they would never invite me back onto the mainstream media again, I tell you that. Because I'd be like, yeah, we got to do this live. I'm gonna confess everything tonight. Yeah, I want Jake Tapper and I want, I want Don Lemon there. I want to get this all off my chest. Can we do it live? That's the only way I'm doing it. And they would fall for it. And they would be like, going live. And then as soon as it went live, I'd be like, you two are fucking assholes. Robert Mueller's a fucking asshole. You're all pieces of shit. I'd start swearing right live on TV. They'd be trying to beat that out faster than I could say it. They'd be like, yeah, he got us. He got us. It'd be the biggest troll in history. How one nobody just caused a bunch of trouble. I would too. I'd trigger them so they'd probably want to beat the shit out of me right on the CNN floor. They'd be like, oh, this son of a bitch. He got us. But that's how I'd handle it. That's how I'd handle it. I wouldn't talk to Mueller. You gotta be stupid, man. That's what Robert Mueller does. Tries to catch you up in some shit you didn't do. That's Mueller's whole game, man. All these guys, the only thing they ever got caught for is lying. You don't answer a question, you're not lying. That would be my takeaway from it. That'd be the only thing I'd tell Robert Mueller, too. If Robert Mueller brought me in, I'd be like, no, man. The only thing you want to do is try to catch me in a lie. So I'll answer no questions. What do you mean? Nope, you don't get nothing. That's what I would do. I wouldn't play that game with him. I don't know how they all fell, though. All of them. Right in a row. Dominoes. Dominoes every time, man. What are you doing? I felt bad for that one guy. That one guy from, I think it's from Norway. Like, he can never come back to the U.S. now. He's fucked himself all up. He didn't even really do anything. He just lied. It was like a little stupid lie. But it had nothing to do with any collusion or anything. It was just a lie of nothing. And he had to go do 2 days in jail and then deport himself. It was actually stupid. It was the stupidest thing ever. Stupidest thing ever. Mueller tried to get him to lie and say he knew about WikiLeaks releases. Well, that's because if you were familiar with what happened today, Rachel, it was on my time, Daily Co UK, the CIA and NSA has been hacking old Julian Assange since 2017. So, they already have evidence. They know that Julian Assange was in touch with the Russian government. He's fucked. Julian Assange is done. Whether people want to admit it or not, you can call him a white hat, a black hat, a blue hat, a yellow hat, a green hat. He was working with Russian operatives. He's fucked. They'll get him sooner or later. He's done. He's done. Whether people want to hear it or not, that ship is done. It's sailed. They have the email correspondence. They have, yeah. Check it out. I'll put it up on the screen again. When it came out today, I was like, whoa. Right there. It includes messages exchanged with alleged Russian hackers about the Democratic National Committee emails. It came out today. They hacked Julian Assange email accounts, the government. So he's all done. He's all done. He's finished. They got the goods. He took on the most powerful intel agencies in the world. I knew it would never end well for him. Oh, of course. You got to give him some credit, right? I mean, come on. Got to give him some credit, man. He took on the most powerful government in the world, and rocked it. Well, I think if they were smart, they could give him an immunity, I think. But I think he would have to turn over everything. He would have to rat. He would have to go belly up. They're not going to give him nothing for free. Bill Browder is nobody, man. I'm not talking about Bill Browder. Bill Browder is a fucking nobody. I don't know why people are so interested in Bill Browder. Bill Browder's a nobody. That guy's just a friggin'. He's a UK bitch. Who cares about Bill fucking Browder? Fucking Bill Browder. He's nothing. Bill Browder just wants to be somebody. You know Bill Browder, he's just an attention seeker, right? He's a socialist attention seeker. Anybody who gives him any attention's a fool. Bill Browder's nobody. He's a hack. He's a nobody. He just causes trouble. That's what Bill Browder is. Fucking Stranahan. I've already looked at him, man. I know everything about Bill Browder. He's a nobody. He's a nobody. He got in with some Ukrainian oligarchs, and he's nobody. He gets money from the highest bidder. He's basically Paul Manafort, UK. That's who he is. He's the United Kingdom's Paul Manafort. You know, that's why he ran from the United States. He didn't want to end up like Paul Manafort in the end. He really is a nobody, dude. I mean, trust me. There's bigger fish than him. Way bigger fish. Bill Browder's nothing compared to some of these other guys. Renat, now he's a big fish. I will. I love you too. Hope you're doing good. But yeah, disprove it. I don't have to disprove it. Why do I care? Why don't you go research it and let me know how it goes? Give me a full report. Let me know. Go get all your stuff. Let me know how it works out. Give me a full report. I'll come in your scope and listen. You can educate me all about it. I'm not listening to fucking Stranahan, who gets paid for it by Sputnik News, that's for sure. You know, he's paid opposition too. So, you know, when you're paid by a Russian entity, you're controlled by a Russian entity. I'm not saying I don't believe some of the stuff he says, but he's controlled. He's controlled by a Russian entity. Sputnik News, man. Look it up. It's owned by a Russian oligarch connected to Putin. You know, these guys have to do what he says. You know, is what it is. They're not an honest news agency. There's not many of them out there. Trust me. They all have special interests. That's what a lot of people don't understand too, man. That's why I always tell people, get your news from everywhere. Get it from all over the place. Just don't go to one place, because they all have special interests. They wouldn't be in the business if they didn't have special interests. There's no honest news agencies left. I really wish people would get that. There's none. Zero. Everybody has an agenda. Every news outlet, every news, whatever informative service you're going to, there's an agenda behind it. It's not about the truth. It's not about the truth. It's about the agenda. You know, real truth seekers will look all over the place. Agenda people will stick to one line. That's what we're seeing these days. You know, who is in control? There's nobody in control. It's just all a bunch of special interests, man. Nobody's ever been in control. The corporations control. The lobbyists control everything for the corporations. And it all breaks down to special interest. That's all it is, man. We're not run by politicians. We're run by corporations. I just wish people would understand that. Nobody's saving America. I'm going to be honest with you. There's no saving America. America is built upon corporations. And now, unfortunately, those corporations are now global. And they all have lobbyists with certain agendas. And what happens is these lobbyists pay into all these politicians. They fund their campaign. They funnel their money in. And then after they win their election, they got to pay their debt. Their debts must be paid. And the lobbyists go and collect their debts. When there's a vote on something, whether it be global warming or abortion or, taxes, corporate taxes, they pay their debt at that time, because that lobbyist goes to them and they say, okay, we funded your campaign. Now we want what we've sent you here to do. You're going to go ahead and you're going to vote this way. Boom. And that's why they call it corporate America. Don't you understand? That's why they say corporate America. Corporations run this country, whether people fucking want to see it or not. It's the way it's always been. You know, corporate America runs a lot of America, whether you like it or not. Unfortunately, they don't like Trump. unfortunately for us, they hate Trump. Because Trump doesn't play their game. Trump isn't all about them. Although he likes corporate America, he's all about making money, but he's about doing it for America. He doesn't cave to the foreign special interests. Not too much. He doesn't play that game. Like, if he doesn't get his way in America, he doesn't let him play ball across the sea. It's the way it goes. You're seeing it with the wall. Trump doesn't give a shit if Congress and the Senate open for 2 years. He doesn't care. He'll end his term sitting in a closed government. But I think people don't understand exactly how government works. It all breaks down to special interests. That's what that whole Russian baby adoption shit was, Do you know what the Russian baby adoption shit started out as? With Bill Browder, that shit they were arguing about, man. Let me tell you what that was. When they were letting Americans adopt Russian babies, those Russian babies were really Russian assets. You do know that, right? That's what it was all about. When Russia started that adoption program and were letting America, adopt these white babies from Russia, that was so they could create spies in later generations. It was all an operation, man. And, there were other people besides Bill Browder that saw that. Although Bill Browder's the lobbyist for the Ukraine that tried to stop it. But that's exactly what was going on with that. Russia was creating a network of spies. Not all of them would become spies, but the ones they could corrupt would. You bet your ass. Every country does that. When you see babies come in from like China and stuff like that, those are assets to them. Those are always assets. Can they corrupt them? They don't know. If they ever reach any point of authority or any point in politics, you don't think they're not like, ooh, she's one of ours. Can we corrupt her or him? Let's try. It happens all the time, man. That's why you see all these people always getting caught for espionage and corporations and shit. They were baby assets. That's all it is. It's the spy games, man. This shit's been going on since the Cold War. A lot of people don't know how that works, man. Crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. What was the movie about the Russian spy recently? Oh, you're talking about with what's her name? Russian Bride. Yeah, Russian Brides were that too. Russian Brides. Those were spies too. Yeah. I mean, look at the girl who just got caught. I mean, she pretty much admitted, yeah, I was a Russian operative. I got bagged. I mean, she wasn't a high-level operative. She wasn't high-level, and I'll tell you why she wasn't high-level yet. Because she hadn't gotten to a good target, right? This girl was slowly working her way up the NRA. But really what she was trying to do was work her way into social circles and politics. And once she reached her target, she would have married that target. And then she would have developed what they call the asset, right? That's how this works, man. People don't understand. It's all spy games. Who overthrew the Ukraine? Yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't know who overthrew the Ukraine. I don't know. If you say a name, I might know. I haven't seen anybody overthrow the Ukraine. Ukraine's just as bad as Russia. Both those countries are shitholes. They've been fighting since the beginning of time. It's all about Crimea. I don't care. I don't care about Russia, and I don't care. I really don't care about global politics, bro. Tell you the truth. I could give a shit if Russia nuked Ukraine tomorrow night or Ukraine nuked Russia. I don't fucking care. I don't live there. I have no allegiance to any of these countries. None. Fuck them. That's my take on it. I only care about America. That's why I don't get horny over all these, global protests and shit. I don't give a fuck. I could care less what goes on in France or England or Iraq, Afghanistan. I don't give a shit. I only care about America, man. I care where my food, where I'm gonna put food on my fucking table, or, are my kids gonna get a good education, or are we gonna be able to go to the hospital if we're sick? I don't give a shit about global politics. Give a fuck what happens in the world. Let it fucking burn for all I care, as long as America's okay. That's how I see it. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm not a globalist. I'm I am the very opposite of a globalist. I'm probably as pro-America as it's gonna get. Yeah, that is the point. I don't tweet. You know what? I don't tweet any of the yellow vest shit. I don't tweet any of that globalist shit. I don't tweet pro fucking Afghanistan shit, Syria shit. I don't. If it's pro shit, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I think it's fucking dumb. And I think it's dumb when Americans do that. And it's supposed to be America first, not fucking the world first. I could give a fuck about globalism. Honestly. I don't give a shit, and I'm not going to give a shit. I'm never going to give a shit. You know when I'll start giving a shit? Is when a foreign enemy lands on our shore. And then I'll beat the shit out of them right on the shoreline. That's the only time I'm going to give a shit. When they want to come over here. If they want to attack America, let me know. I'll be one of the first ones out the fucking door to beat them back. Until then, I don't give a shit about globalist politics. I really don't. I really don't. Why would you care? Why would you care about another country's politics? It doesn't matter. You don't live there. They're going to pay your bills. They're going to feed your children. You're going to put clothes on your children's backs. What's in it for you with another country? Why would you care? Honestly, what are you going to get out of it? What's your take? You know? What are you getting? That's what I don't understand. That's why I'm not pro these movements. I saw it with the Arab Spring too. You know, Americans getting all like, "Oh, we gotta free the Arabs." Why? Are you living there? What's your take? What's in it for you? You ever gonna meet these people? What? Oh, it's just being a good patriot. What do you mean? I'm a good patriot every day. I want my people doing good. That makes me a good patriot. I don't give a shit. I don't care about other countries. Care less, man. They can fucking fight it out every day for all I care. I don't, you know. That's the problem America got into. We can't mind our own fucking business. That's the biggest problem. You do know that, right? The biggest problem is America is that we can't mind our own fucking business. Going on for years. Fuck the rest of the... I don't care about the rest of the world. Fuck them too. I don't care about the rest of the world. I only care about America. Fuck their messages. I don't care. I got something to say to the rest of the world. I'll throw a fucking message in a bottle and throw it in the ocean. See who picks it up first. I just don't care. It's their countries. If they want to do something with their country, that's their fucking business. You know? That's how I feel about it. You know, it's none of my business. None of my business what the United Kingdom does. It's none of my business what France does. It's just none of my business, man. If they want to import 8 billion Muslims into France, I don't care. I don't live there. I don't plan on living there. I'll never go there. My kids will never go there. I'll tell them long before I die that, you know, France is a shithole. They'll kill you. Don't go there. You know, it is what it is. I don't care, man. I don't need to see the world. You know? A lot of people are like, I want to see the world before I die. It's fucking sand and rocks just like it is here. It's fucking sand and rocks just like it is anywhere else. You don't need to leave your front yard. You're going to see the same shit wherever you go. Not kidding. I mean, the landscape might be a little different, but it's all sand and rocks. It's all dirt. Do you really need to go overseas to see more dirt? You know, you don't. You can see everything that's beautiful in the United States. You can go up the north to see the cold. You can go to California, see the nice warm. You can go to Arizona, see the desert. You can go to Texas, you can ride a horse. There's so much shit you can do in the United States. You don't never need to leave it. You can go to Florida, hang out with some palm trees. You know, I mean, shit. You can go to, you know, go to the mountains of Tennessee. Everything you need's right here. Everything that you need's right here. You don't need to see the world. What the fuck you want to go all over the world for? Americans, you could visit so many places in America. You'd never do it in your whole lifetime. You'd never do it. It would never happen. France used to be great. Yeah, they used to. It used to. That's the point. It's not anymore. It'll never be great again. It'll never be great again. It's over. No, there's no need to talk about it. Francis Showell. I don't care. Rocky Mountains are breathtaking. Yeah. Everything's here. Grand Canyon. I mean, you can go all over the place. Why would you want to see all these places? Everything you need is right here. I take a strong stance in America first. I believe all our products should be made in America. I believe all our food should be made in America. I believe all our cars should be made in America. I believe our kids should only be educated in America. I believe in America first. That's it. That's it, you know. Whether you're black, white, yellow, brown, green, as long as you're an American citizen, you're born on this soil, you should be entitled to everything America has to offer. Other than that, you know, you shouldn't have to go anywhere else. Why would you want to? Why would you want to? The problem, you know why America doesn't have equality yet, as they say? It's because we're thinking as globalists, man. You know, America, if we didn't give away all our money, our people would be taken care of overnight. Our people would be taken care of overnight. You know, welfare for these poor people would double. We would be able to job train these people. We would be able to get them a higher education level. We'd be able to get them good jobs. You know, there's so many things would change if we would stop the global welfare. That's why when I see people bitch about the American welfare system, I fucking laugh at it. I'm like, man, we give 10 times that amount to foreign welfare. If anything, you should be bitching about the foreign welfare and want your people to have more money. Like, I don't bitch about Americans on welfare. I don't. I do not bitch about Americans on welfare, man. And I never say, oh, well, they should get a job. I don't. There's some people who are just down and out, and they probably should be getting more money, and they should probably be getting more help so that they can get off fucking welfare. You know, think about it like this way. If somebody loses their job, loses their house, loses their bank accounts, they lose everything. Okay? And so now they have to get on their feet. Well, they have to go collect welfare first. Sorry, it's just the way it's done. So they go to the welfare office. But this poor bastard, or this poor, you know, person, doesn't have a car, doesn't have a job. So how's he going to get to a job? How's he going to buy clothes to get that job? So he's got no way to get to work. You know, I mean, some people struggle, but they shouldn't have to, is what I'm saying. So, you know, when we're giving all this foreign welfare, we could use that money to buy cheap cars, right? For these people to get to work. It doesn't mean they get to keep the car, right? It doesn't mean they get to keep the car, but they could have cars that they could provide to these people and say, look, while you're on welfare, we'll let you use this car. And it could just be a beater car, you know, a little economical piece of shit where these people could drive to work and at least have a little dignity to get to work. And then they start getting paychecks, right? And then you slowly take them off the welfare as soon as they can buy their own car. You know, there's so many things we could do in this country that are different. And we continue the same cycle of stupid shit with these poor people on welfare instead of trying to find ways, okay, how can we change their lives? How can we make it better for them to be able to do things? In the U.S. government, we buy cars cheap anyway. We buy shitloads of cars cheap. We do it for USAID. We do it for this. We do it for that. Why can't we do it for people on welfare? Why can't these people be assigned a car to get to work? You know, yeah, like a scooter, anything to get to work, man. You know, it's like, come on, man. If you want these people off welfare, you have got to give them something, some kind of initiative, some kind of drive to get off it. And I'm not talking about illegals. They don't belong on a welfare. They should go home. I'm talking about American citizens. And they should be given, you know, a good welfare to, you know, hold their head up and have dignity while they're on welfare and be able to, you know, house their family and feed their family. You know, I'm not saying treat them like kings or royalty, but they're not treated right now like kings or royalty. I can tell you that. If you go down into the bayou and look at them poor people in the bayou, that is a homework assignment I want to give people. Look up the poor people in the bayou. Very, very poor people. Don't have anything. It's just terrible how they live. And try to study some of these poor areas of America besides the ghettos. They're everywhere. There's little pockets of poor people everywhere. There's little pockets. What, do we need to pay for it? Well, I think we already pay our taxes, right? If we took away the foreign welfare, we would have more than enough to take care of these people. That's what I'm saying. We would have more than enough to take care of these people. But because we give so much to foreign, $38 billion to Israel. $38 billion? That's not a couple bucks. Israel did not need fucking $38 billion from the United States. I'm sorry. They don't need that fucking much money. What in the heck were we giving them $38 billion? I don't need to do my homework. No. Nope. I don't hate people. I don't hate poor people. I don't hate poor people that are my fellow citizens. I just don't. I don't look at it that way. I will never hate another American. I just don't look at it that way. I think that's the wrong approach. I think Americans are Americans, man. You shouldn't shit on other Americans because they're less fortunate. I just don't. I will never do that. I'm a different thinker than other people on this. I'm conservative, but I'm not barbaric when it comes to my own people. And I'm not a socialist. I believe these people should work. I believe these work. Work needs to be done. So, in order to get this welfare, you could have work programs. That's what I'm saying. They could do so many things, man. I mean, you could have these people working, road projects, highway cleanup. There's so many things they could be doing. Some of the federal jobs could be done by these welfare recipients. There's so many things. There's so many things they could do. I mean, just think, you could take some of the welfare, population, and put them to work in a low-level federal job, where a doorknob could do it, right? You could do that. You could absolutely do that. Why don't they do that? Why don't they subsidize federal jobs for welfare? It makes sense. But instead, they gotta pay big prices where people really aren't working that hard. Some of those people in the federal government, they shouldn't get paid what they get paid. They're getting paid too much for some of the shit they do. Too much. What the fuck, man? I watch these federal office workers in the IRS or the Social Security Administration. And if you've ever gone to get your Social Security card, if you've lost it, y'all know what I'm talking about. Them motherfuckers be the laziest of the bunch. These Social Security workers. They'll take one client every 2 hours. They'll fucking take one client. And you're sitting there for hours waiting to submit your Social Security application for your Social Security card. You ever notice that? I know some of you probably know what I'm talking about if you've ever been to the Social Security Administration. You go in there, you sit there. It's fucking forever, man. You feel like you're going to fucking have to move in. Yeah. Crazy at Social Security Administration. But these guys are overpaid. Like, $20 an hour to fucking sit there? I'm sorry, but I think a McDonald's worker fucking works harder than these guys. McDonald's workers work harder than Social Security Administration people. And they get paid a whole lot fucking less. You know what I'm saying? They get paid a whole lot less than your average dipshit federal take an application or a phone call employee. Now, these are the people that could be replaced with welfare recipients. I'm not kidding. These are people that could be replaced. They're useless anyway. They're not work efficient. They're not fast paced. They got no initiative. They got no drive because they know their pay is guaranteed. They know their pay is guaranteed, so they don't even bother because they're protected by the federal government. and their job is concrete. And they can break every friggin' rule before they're even thrown out. I'm not kidding. Federal employees get away with more shit. You saw it with the FBI, with their union. That guy, it took that guy pretty much getting caught in the act to get fired. You know, crazy stuff, man. But this is stuff that could be automated, streamlined through welfare. Why not? Put it to work. Smaller government is good. Once again, what's grinding your gears? It is smaller government. Actually, Trump has less workers than Obama ever had. It is smaller. They were just talking about that today. How his government is way smaller. Yeah, I know. Making an appointment, you got to fill out a form. Have you ever heard of such a thing? You have to fill a form out and make an appointment to do something? Like, that's ridiculous that you would have to fill a form out in order to get some, you know, a card that has a Social Security number on it. I hate going to the Social Security Administration. I'm not kidding. It's the worst time. It is the worst time. I don't know how my mom did it when we were younger, like when she had to get them. She had to get them, I think, one time. And I don't know how she did it. She must pull her hair out, filling out all that paperwork. You know, crazy stuff. You know, but you can get a birth certificate easy now, though. That's easy enough. All you have to do is go online for that. You know, it seems like states are more streamlined than the federal government. You can get Social Security cards online and mailed now. I got an extra one in case I lost one. Oh, you can? How do you do that? Like, what do you have to do? Like, upload your ID or something? What do they make you do to do that? I have to check that out. I have to try it to see how efficient it is. It's a good idea. I'm going to try it out. I like testing out the systems. I'm checking them out. Make it available online. It was easier back then, yeah. The only thing I worry about online are hackers, though, right? You know, storing all our data up there in the cloud. It's like scary shit. But what are you gonna do? This night shift's gonna kick my ass, man. I'm so used to going to bed by like 11. But, you know, where I'm doing my night shift now, I have to stay up. So I took a nighttime job. So I'm going to be up all night. So now I'm forcing my body to get used to this all night thing. So I end up staying up all night right now and getting my body in tune. Finely tuned. That way I don't walk in. You know, a lot of people will start a job overnight and they won't get geared up for it. And then it fucking wrecks them in the first week. I'm doing it before I even start. I'm wrecking my body this week. That way I'm all set for my overnight shifts. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. I haven't worked all nights in a long time either. Oh my gosh. Shit, probably 10 years since I worked an overnight. I'm gonna become a night owl. You can get a card reprint sent to your address. I have my original Social Security card. Oh my gosh. Days off on nights just suck. Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah, night shifts for days off. Yeah, that does suck. You're not kidding. Up all night and there's nothing to do. Oh yeah, walking around. You save money though. That's the one thing I learned when I worked the night shift before, was you save money. You don't find yourself spending money a lot because you're always working at night. So you're not spending money during the day, because that's like when, you know, a lot of the stores and everything are open. So you find yourself spending less cash when it comes to nighttime shifts. So you're actually more fiscally responsible. There's less to do, which is a benefit, I guess, of working nights. We'll find out. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a good night. I'll be on Twitter a little bit. I'm going to watch some TV or something, I think. I don't know. We'll find out. I had to talk to a couple people, too, and see what's up. I'll see you guys.